Cornbread is a classic dish that is traditionally served at Thanksgiving. It also tastes great when paired with chili, soup, goulash, or stew. If you are wanting egg-free cornbread, this amazing egg substitute for cornbread is the perfect option. Egg-free cornbread is easy to make and requires no prior baking experience. It has a delicious taste that is perfect for pairing with your favorite hot meal or enjoying it on its own with some butter and honey. What happens if you don't put eggs in cornbread? Like many baked goods, eggs provide structure to cornbread. Eggs help give it a nice, fluffy texture as well as contribute to the flavor. They help bind the ingredients together as well as provide much-needed moisture to the cornbread. Without eggs, your cornbread may turn out more dense and less flavorful. It will not be able to bind properly and will easily fall apart. What can you substitute for eggs in cornbread? Fortunately, you can use a substitute for eggs when making cornbread. Whether you want a vegan or dairy option, there are replacements available. For vegan substitutes, you can use applesauce, silken tofu, or ground flax seeds. 1 egg will equal 1/4 a cup of silken tofu or 1 tablespoon of flaxseed mixed with 3 tablespoons of water. If you want to use dairy substitutes, you can use yogurt or mayo. For 1 egg, use 1/4 cup of yogurt or mayo. For best results, use full-fat plain Greek yogurt in place of your egg. Sour cream. If desired, you can use sour cream as a substitute for eggs in cornbread. It will help contribute to the texture and flavor of the cornbread. However, you may want to use an extra pinch of baking powder for a bit more lift in your cornbread. Using applesauce. This is an excellent substitute for eggs in many recipes, including cornbread. It contributes moisture and flavor and binds together the ingredients. When using it as a substitute, 1 egg equals 1/4 cup of applesauce. Most recipes will use unsweetened applesauce, however, if you want a slightly sweeter cornbread, you can use sweetened applesauce if desired. What you will need to make egg-free cornbread. Ingredients: 1½ cups of yellow cornmeal, 1 cup flour, ½ a teaspoon of baking soda, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup buttermilk, ½ a cup of unsweetened applesauce. Step by step. Step 1. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and grease your muffin tin with cooking spray or use 12 liners. In a large mixing bowl, use a whisk to mix the cornmeal, flour, brown sugar, salt, baking soda, and baking powder. Step 2. Add your buttermilk and applesauce to the dry ingredients. Use a whisk or wooden spoon to thoroughly mix the cornbread batter. Step 3. Carefully fill each cavity on the muffin tin 3/4 full with batter, filling all 12 holes. Bake the cornbread for 15 minutes, or until the tops become golden brown. Allow your egg-free cornbread to cool on a wire rack for at least 10 minutes. Serve the freshly baked cornbread while it is still a bit warm or at room temperature, depending on your preference. Tips and tricks. If desired, you can make this recipe vegan-friendly. You can use almond, soy, or oat milk. To make it a buttermilk substitute, stir in 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and let it sit for at least 5 minutes before adding it to your batter. Instead of applesauce, you can also use 1/2 a cup of yogurt, sour cream, or mayo. You can also use 1/2 a cup of silken tofu or use 2 tablespoons of flax seeds combined with 6 tablespoons of water. Instead of making muffins, you can make this recipe in a 9-inch square pan. The cornbread will still bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, but you will need to increase the time to around 20 to 22 minutes. Store your cornbread in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 1 week. You can also store them in the fridge in an airtight container for slightly longer than a week. Serve them at room temperature or heat the cornbread in the microwave for a few seconds to warm it up. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.